Hello and welcome back. So guys, here in the previous class we've learned about the validation, that what should happen if the validation goes wrong, but what if goes right. So right now I'm just gonna guide you about what we did in the previous classes first, then we'll go. Okay, I'm just opening the browser, and there you can see that the login controller and the index function here which is loaded on. I'm going to the Sublime back, and I'm just gonna guide you a little bit more. You know that when I just open the login controller, which is this file login controller, and then automatically the index function has been loaded, because you know that the or automatically, or if you just don't type this, index function will be automatically loaded. You can see that because this is the index function and it can be loaded by default if you just don't mention any kind of function. So by the way, in the index function we just loaded the view, so exactly you can understand that we are just getting the view page, the login view. So right now we just need to go, and the second thing is you can see that there is nothing more in this function, in the index function, just the view of the login view. So I just need to go to the view, the login view. I'm going there, and in the login view, what is this? A complete function. You can see that basically it's starting from this file, and first of all we're just sending the div class container, which is the part of the bootstrap, by the way. Then we just work on the basic CODEIGNITER way to create a form. You can see that the form open, the form label, the form input, the form label, etc. So what are these things? These are the function to just simply add the HTML things of the form, but the CODEIGNITER has its own way. So now if you just want to clear that you're just talking about the password, not the text or etc. So we just added the attributes, in attribute, in pass attribute, whatever, and there we just added the properties in the array form. And you know that if you just go to the browser, it's showing look like an attribute. This is an attribute, this is the value of the attribute, and etc. So this is the thing. Then what is happening? Then by default the form way is the post, but here we just the method is post, but we just declared that we want the post method. And here where we are just running this form or executing this form in the login controller, the process there, you know that in the CODEIGNITER we are not working on the page way, we are working on a functional way. So process is a function. So whenever we click on the on this button, the form input and button attributes, so whenever we click on this button we will be redirected to this process function inside the login controller. So I just need to go to the login controller, and there is a process function. So now we are there. What we are doing here, we are just getting the form validation, set rules, all these things. This is the name of the field, the human readable field, and this is the general field. This field works when we just want when we just get any error and we just want to show the name of this field. So we can show this instead of this user or user pass, you know that instead of this thing we can simply type the user password. Okay, we can add spaces and etc here, but you know that when we just creating the names we cannot do these things. So by the way, spelling should be correct. These are the viewable names basically. Then we just added a lot of methods. You can see that a lot of validations. The minimum length should be 3, and here we just added a pipe. Then maximum length should be 8, and required means required is this is a required element. And there what we are just telling that if the form validation run is equal to false, then all these should be happen. And what is there? We're just getting all the validation error by the name of errors. Okay, and the main name is val error. And what we are doing here, we are just creating the flash data. What is a flash data? This is a session, but what is the specialty of this session? Basically it removes automatically or unset automatically just after the one request or the next request basically. Okay, but if you just type the user data or the general or regular way of creating sessions in PHP, we have to destroy or unset the sessions. But by using the flash data way, it be flushed automatically just after the single request. So by the we are sending this array which has a name errors, and actually the key and the function validation errors. Okay, So what is happening, we are just redirecting to the login controller back, and this is the login controller. So you know that we are just not mentioning the process or the index, so automatically we're talking about the index here. It's redirecting automatically to the index. It means this one. And now this is a simple thing, but I'm just going to the login view, and at the top you can see that if this session flash data has been created, you can see that so with the name of errors, then this should be echo, as you can see that. Okay, so exactly, we are just loading the login controller, which means we are just loading the index, and this file or the view is opening or loading. And in the login view, we just set a thing that if the session flash data is created named errors, then this should be echo too. Okay, otherwise it won't. So exactly, we're just getting a lot of errors. This is the whole game we just played in this program. But what if this true? So now the else part is starting from this one. I hope you got the whole strategy. I was just thinking to clear you that what we just did here, because according to me that is really important. So by the way, what more we just need to send the data. The means of data is the login information to the model page. So what we are just doing, this input. Okay, so what are these things? Basically, when all these things goes false, this should happen. But if it goes true, then we are just generally collecting the data, because you know that we are not getting any, wait for a while, yeah, any validation errors. Exactly, this should be run. So the input and the method is post, and then cover this one. And here what I'm just doing, basically the name of this rule is user, so I'm just putting up the user there. Oh, what is happening here, user. Now duplicate this one, oh sorry, just copy and paste there and add some spaces, and then this should be the user pass. You know about the rule, user pass. Now save that, and here go there and just add a variable name to just simple the user equal to. Now what the thing we are getting from the user post should be inside the variable of user, and the password. Interestingly, we just don't need to process all these things in any other validation, because exactly you know that we just validated all these things. Okay, we just don't need to use the add slashes or the SQL injection. One thing more, which is the specialty of CODEIGNITER, that we just don't need to process up our form in the SQL injection, for the SQL injection basically. So what more we need? We need to create a new model. Okay, we can create a new model, or we can use the previous one. If I just go to the new model, which is the previous one actually. So here let's just open this one, and then you can see that it has a lot of old programs, the create post, the update. It means we just learned about that basically. So what more we need to do? We can create a new one. Then it won't work, because you know that we have to go to the auto load, and there you can see that we just loaded the model, and I'll disable this one. So okay, I'm just creating a new one. So let's just simply copy all these codings and just paste this in a new one, and where to save this in the model by the name of login model.php, and save this file. Okay, we got the new file. Let's just close this one. Oh, one thing more, copy and paste. Sorry about that. Yes, now save, and where is the login, capital login. Yes, I'm replacing this one. Now close this and come there, and I'm just removing all these things. Here you can see that I just don't want the database right now. I'll make this in the database. I'm removing that one right now. I'll create this one from the really starting. So remove all these things. As you can see, the name should be, you know, that the login model. So the login login model. All these things looking perfect. What more we need? We need to go to the auto load, where we are just loading the new model. We just need to type the login model here and just save this. Okay, now for programming the model, we will just work on the next class. Stay tuned and goodbye.